We are kicking off Neville Goddard with his book, At Your Command. We are going to be talking about claiming, affirmations, birds before land, his secrets to success. I'm going to be quoting from it. We might make it to chapter 2, but we're going to start with chapter 1. So let's jump into it. I have highlighted the very first quote that I would like to read to you is, "You do not command things to appear by your words or loud affirmations. Such vain repetition is more often than not confirmation of the opposite. Decreeing is ever done in consciousness. That is, every man is conscious of being that which he has decreed himself to be." Now, right away, I would just like to bring those of you who have watched The Office a memory to mind of when Michael Scott has to declare bankruptcy because of his debt and the financial issues he's gotten himself in. And he stands in the office and just very loudly yells, "I declare bankruptcy!" And then they pull him aside and they're like, "Michael, you know that, like, you can't just say that you declare bankruptcy." And he was like, "Well, I didn't say it, I declared it." That's what I think about with this. So that is not what he means, but that is what I think about. So when he says, he literally says, loud affirmations are vain repetition because it's more often than not confirmation of the opposite. Now, don't freak out and be like, "What? But I affirm and it works." I didn't say that. I'm going to break it down. There's a difference between affirming in vain and affirming that gets yourself into decreeing the state. So I'm sure you've seen the trend of people like claiming things or not claiming that, like, "Oh, we don't claim that energy," or "We claim that energy." Now that can also be a vain statement. Any statement can be made in vain when you don't actually take on the embodiment of the feeling. You're not taking on the state, because if you watched my first Neville Goddard video, I talk all about how he's trying to get you into the state of consciousness to actually manifest what it is that you're trying to experience. So, of course, you can do affirmations, and what's been really amazing is that through reading Neville Goddard's books, I go back and I look at all the practices that I have participated in and endorsed, and I'm like, oh my gosh, was I way off on some of these things? And no, but also maybe a little bit. And reading his books has brought a lot of clarity to why I said some of the things that I said and why certain things worked for me and others didn't. So, he's saying you can't just command things, and I cannot wait for us to get to the point where he talks about the marriage between the consciousness and the subconscious. I can't wait. I don't know when it is. I don't even know if it's in this book, but I can't wait. But in my previous videos about affirmations, and when I recommend affirmations to friends, I tell you to give yourself a pep talk. Like, don't just sit in front of the mirror and be like, I'm beautiful, I am loved. Because just like Neville Goddard said, a vain repetition is more often than not confirmation of the opposite. Because if you're sitting there and you're like, I am beautiful, your brain's going, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. You need to convince yourself that what you are saying is a declaration. It's not just vain words coming out of your mouth that your brain is instantly going, no, we don't claim that. we don't subscribe to that energy. So claim it as your own, and you will suddenly transform your world from the barren deserts of Egypt to the promised land of Canaan. I don't know if I said that right. Let's move along, because I feel like I explained that part enough, and I want to get as much in this video as I possibly can because I'm so excited to be talking about these things. Okay, consciousness is the resurrecting power, resurrecting that which man is conscious of being. Basically that you can like energy is never created nor destroyed. So it's not that you're really creating anything, you're resurrecting something into your reality that already exists somewhere in the ether. I don't know, whatever we want to call it. Man is ever out picturing that which he is conscious of being. This is the truth that makes man free, for man is always self-imprisoned or self-freed. So he's just like stating that this is truth. This is the law. These are the laws of our physical universe, and you are the one who is imprisoning yourself or freeing yourself based on whether or not you want to consciously accept this. So pretty straightforward with that. I'm moving along. Okay, he says, you are at this very moment drawing into your world that which you are now conscious of being. Now you can see what is meant by you must be born again. If you are dissatisfied with your present expression in life, the only way to change it is to take your attention away from that which seems so real to you and rise in consciousness to that which you desire to be. You cannot serve two masters. Therefore, to take your attention from one state of consciousness and place it upon another is to die to one and live to the other. So, and I'm so excited for how he elaborates on a lot of this in coming chapters, and I'm very excited for how he advises you to do this. He uses the story of Daniel in the lion's den, but if you are unhappy with your current circumstances, then you have to stop embodying the consciousness of one that is aligning with that and manifesting that and identifying with that. And you have to ignore what's going on. You have to die to the current ways and be born anew. Like, think about it. You're in your old story. My cat, I don't know if you guys can hear him in the background. He is singing the tale of Dinner like an hour early. Not the tale, the song. But yeah, you have to become this new you. I just see it like a shining white light around you in your old circumstances, and then that light is going to radiate out and things are going to change. It might not happen that prettily. I don't think that's a word, but so moving along. I'm not reading everything in this chapter, by the way. I just highlighted certain things. Prayers to be successful must be claiming rather than begging. So this is why people say that you need to be able to let go of things and not actually having things. And this is going to be elaborated on further along in his teachings. But if you're begging, you are in the state of lack. You are saying, I need money because I don't have it. And so your brain is just stuck in this loop of you don't have it, you don't have it, you don't have it, you don't have it. So when you are claiming it, he literally gives that example. So if you would pray for riches, turn from your picture of poverty by denying the very evidence of your senses and assume the nature of being wealthy. Now this is difficult, right? And this is where you see all kinds of advice on the internet of people trying to tell you how to use your imagination to get out of the state that you don't want to be in and into the new state. And I heard this one woman, she was talking about how she wanted to manifest being able to afford a better apartment, and she hated how small her bathroom was because every time she tried to do her makeup, she would bang into the walls and it was triggering her, and she would be like, oh, I hate this place, right? And what she did was she started doing her makeup in the other room, and she tried to just use her bathroom as little as possible so that she was not putting herself into that lack state and triggering those thoughts as much as she possibly could. That's just an example. The very moment my claim is established to the point of conviction, that moment I begin to draw unto myself the evidence of my claim. Now we're going to get into birds before land. So, the very moment my claim is established to the point of conviction, meaning that you are like really solid in it, that moment I began to draw unto myself the evidence of my claim. You are already the thing you want. You're already feeling the way you want to feel. You already have it. But now the evidence is going to start to come in. So this is when he says, the signs always follow, they never precede. Things have no reality other than in consciousness. Therefore, get the consciousness first, and then the thing is compelled to appear. So that is birds before land. Signs always follow, they never precede. And I think back to how many times, people will say, oh, I just saw a sign, on that billboard, literally a sign, people will be like, oh, it's a sign from the universe that I should go for this new job, or, that I should get a new car. It's not a sign from the universe. It is a sign that you are already aligning with that new car or that new job. Isn't that kind of crazy? Because I think back to how many times before I was studying this that, I really thought that the universe was kind of trying to draw me along a path and show me that something was going to happen. And sometimes that's a scary thing. Sometimes you see the sign and you're like, no, I don't want it. And it can feel out of your control. But to realize that there is no sign, I think, if anything, the sign is going to be that inspiration that gets you to dream for whatever the new thing is. But if you're physically seeing signs, it's because you're already bringing it into your reality. And my Birds Before Land video, like my last one, I think like the part 3, was how I talked about not letting it then get you stuck in a loop of, well, it's like not here yet. It's not here yet. It's not actually happening. It's not actually happening. So keeping this in mind is important. And it can even be good to just like totally ignore the signs. Hello. No. Not right now. Okay, moving on. This is one of his, he says like a commandment kind of thing, like that he would recommend or command his clients. Buddy, not right now. His brother got him all excited an hour early. So he says, if you have like an idea or an ambition, something that you want to manifest, he says, go tell no man. Don't tell anyone. That is, do not discuss your ambitions or desires with another, for the other will only echo your present fears, because you are still interacting with your old reality. So if you have just decided, you know what, I'm going to get a better job, or, I think I am worthy of that raise, or, I am worthy of my partner changing and, showing up better. Like, maybe you want your ex back and you're like, you know what, no, they can change. And you are manifesting it. Don't go talk to your reality right away unless you would really like a challenge, because it's more than likely going to reflect back your old fears. So you would just want to wait until you are more solid in a place of courage and fortitude. I don't know if that's the word that I really want, but like you want to be very solid in your new beliefs and your new foundation before you start interacting with your 3D in a way that could shake you out of that. So you want to be like very strong in your convictions. That's the word I was looking for. Fortitude. Very strong in your convictions, and give it a little bit of time to render. And that's not to say that you can't talk to like your bestie, someone that understands how to support you and how to not like say negative things, that understands the process of manifestation, but like just chill. I know it can be difficult when we cannot fully feel valid within ourselves, because then we go seek external validation, but what you're doing is you are looping your old way that you don't want anymore, instead of holding the vision for the new way and knowing it's going to come in. And trust me, I understand how difficult that can be when it's something like brand new. Like some things are so easy, and I use this example all the time, and then I end up with it. Like people giving me food randomly, especially fruit. Like I manifest it so easily. It just happens so randomly to me. I'm always being given food. And I think, I have no issues with it. But like somebody randomly walking up to me and handing me $20, even if they maybe just gave me $30 worth of like food randomly. No, I could never imagine somebody just giving me $5 in cash for no reason, So, I don't know where I was going with that. I feel like it made sense though. I'm wrapping this up. Okay. Secrecy is the first law to be observed in realizing your desire. Hi, buddy. Yeah, I gotta get going. He's telling me to wrap it up. Okay, let's see. So he's saying to magnify the Lord is to revalue or expand one's present conception of oneself. So he's saying like I said, I think in the first video that I did on Neville Goddard was that he uses Christian terminology, and he is talking about, the Lord or God as like source, creator, energy, the universe, whatever term is comfortable for you, but I'm quoting him. So that power inside of you, you're magnifying it by revaluing and expanding your conception of yourself. And you give birth by becoming that which you are one with in consciousness. Oh, I was like, that's a really weird way to say that. But he was using the story of Mary as like an analogy that she didn't maybe necessarily really birth a baby Jesus. This is like the story of birthing the awareness of the Lord within you, or the God power within you. And that when you naturally become that which you are one with in consciousness, you are also giving birth to that creator within you. Anyway, that is chapter one. Sorry, I leaned away from the microphone. Chapter 1 of At Your Command, and I am reading this from the deluxe collection. I love it. There's so much going on. I've only read like the first 2 books, I think, and it was enough. Like I haven't had to read any more just yet. I really want to catch up video wise before I get too much further ahead of myself, but I'm really excited to keep going with this. This is kind of his like general rundown. I know that my last video was like a general rundown, but this is his chapter 1. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you're excited to hear more about. Like I said, the chapters coming and maybe even the next book are going to be expanding upon these ideas to give you a better understanding in his words of how to actually put these things into practice and apply them to your life, and how to see success. And like I told you guys in my other video, like I just read a couple pages or like a couple chapters, and it gave me so much confidence because it gave me so much understanding, and I focused on practicing like hardcore what he was teaching just in those 2 books for like a week and a half, and let me tell you, things are happening, things are changing, things are shifting, but the most important one is the shift within. It's like, while everything is swirling around outside of me, I feel so at peace with myself no matter what I'm going through. I feel so steady with myself, and I feel so at peace knowing that I'm just like at peace with myself. I don't know a different way to say it, but yeah, let me know your thoughts, and I will see you in the next video.